Hello, my name is Hugo Mosqueda, and I am a nursing student at Liberty University. And today I'm going to be conducting a servant leader interview to my friend. And this course is Nursing 489. First, I just want to ask you if this is okay. You grant me permission to do the interview.
Hi, my name is Audrey Davis.
Mhm.
I've been a registered nurse for 12 years, and I feel comfortable with doing this interview with Hugo, and I am honored that he even asked me to do it. So
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you, Audrey. I appreciate your time. Okay, so what would you think, or like your definition of a servant leader would be?
To me, a servant leader is a nurse who is willing to give more to others than of themselves, whether in the areas of knowledge. For me, it pays me nothing to train someone to be a preceptor because someone gave me the knowledge, so I'm open to give them anyone who's willing to learn the knowledge that I have, and even to go beyond that and help them to find their way, their path in nursing to decide where they want to go to gain more knowledge. Whether it's going back to school or going to a critical care unit, whatever their path they would like to take, I'm willing to help them with it.
So in a way, as a servant leader, you kind of gain more than actually by serving. You gain more,
Right.
and then by gaining, you could feedback
Yes.
to them, and then you could and then you could help them.
Right.
Interesting. What are second question would be what are your personal leadership strengths?
Wow, I have so many. I think when it comes to communication, I am a good listener. I let my orientees express themselves because there's always more than one direction of learning, and maybe my way isn't the good way for them, but sometimes they have to find their own way, and by talking it out and letting them be able to express themselves is another way. I feel that another strength that I have is that I'm always there for my orientees or as a mentor. You can call me at any time because sometimes new nurses, new grads need someone to talk to because they may think that they made a mistake, and I'm always there 24/7 to talk to them, no matter what time of the day or where I'm at. I'm always there to help them.
I'm not gonna buy to that. Wow. So I mean, so yeah. So you are. I mean, you're more than just a nurse then. I guess you could say, because in a way you're more like a friend too.
Yes.
Because you kind of look at your orientees as a whole person,
Yes.
and it's not just about really teaching them how to do things, but it's more in like connecting with them and like
Right.
making them feel like they can trust
Yes,
you.
and that's what you need in nursing. They always have this saying that nurses eat their young, which I don't like that term, but I never wanted to be a person who has been eaten. So I wouldn't want to eat anybody. I want to help them to learn, to grow, because nursing is so
It's
much.
intimidating sometimes.
Yes,
when you
and
don't wanna-
it is.
yeah.
But nursing is so broad that you don't have to stay in one box. You can spread your wings and fly. And that's what I always say to my orientees. I'm going to help you to fly. So that's what I do.
Interesting, very interesting. Thank you. Well, I have two more questions, if that's okay. How do you handle suggestions and feedback when negotiating changes and improvements?
How do I handle that?
Yes, how do you handle
If it's a
suggestions and
negative feedback, I love negative feedbacks
Mm.
because it helps
Right.
me to grow, to find where I can make an improvement. And if you saw that I made that is negativity, then who else saw it also? So then that means in myself, I have to soul search myself to find out what it means to me to be a nurse, and I have to improve on that area. And that's what it is.
So, as a leader, if somebody comes up to you and says, "Look, Audrey, I really didn't appreciate the way that you handled this or did something," like, you wouldn't be like, "Whoa, what do you mean?"
No.
You humbly say, "Okay, well, like, how do you feel about that, right?" Like,
Right, because as a leader, you have to be able to admit that you're wrong. A leader can't always be right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and we're not all perfect. And maybe I did say something wrong, but I'm willing as a nurse and as a woman to admit that, okay, I was wrong. But can you tell me how so that I can fix it? And there you go. But that's what leadership is all about, admitting that sometimes you have to say, you know what, I don't know the answer, but I'll get back to you. Because a leader can't always be correct, as I said before. There is no way. If a leader is always correct, I don't want to lead. I don't want to follow that person. Not at all.
No, I hear you. I hear you. That's very true. Very true. Last question, if that's okay.
No problem. I'm here for you.
Would you describe yourself as a servant leader? And if yes, can you give an example of
Yes.
your ability to display this trait?
I find myself as a servant leader as because I had a patient who was just newly diagnosed with AML. And when she found out, her and her husband, they were devastated. And a few weeks later, she went through chemotherapy. And when I was home at the time, and she called me and told me that she was in remission. And I said to her, I am on my way to the hospital. And I live an hour away from the hospital, and she was here, and I came back, and I hugged her, and we cried together because I knew that she would get to it. Now, guess what? It happened that a nurse from my unit came to the floor to get something, and she saw me, and she was like, why are you here? And I told her. She was like, you know what? I am so proud of you, because I don't know if I would have done that. But why not? She's my patient. That's what nursing is all about. Giving more of yourself to others. Not really, for me, not caring. I know I could do my job, but to show others, to be a leader to them. That's what it's all about for me.
So leading by example, because I'm
Yes.
sure that that nurse saw that, and I'm sure it impacted her. I mean, who knows how it really impacted her? And maybe now, because of that, she's probably taking care of her patients.
But not
and
just.
treating
But think about it. I didn't just affect that nurse. I affect that patient.
the patient.
And that's the most important
You're
thing, right? And
Absolutely.
patient-centered care
Absolutely.
is that patient. Maybe her whole day was not right, but when she called me and she told me, she never thought I was going to come, but I did. What did that show? That someone cares about her. That's what nursing for me is all about.
Wow, very interesting. I mean, I feel like this interview is going so well. Can I ask you another question?
Sure you can.
Let's see. How do you, as a serving leader, meet the needs of individuals while continuing to meet group needs as a whole? See, that could be a tough question because now you gotta try to,
It's a whole,
try to,
okay? I'm the leader, but I let everyone participate in whatever it is, but everybody's on an even status. I am no better than you, and you're no better than me. So whatever the situation is, we still can communicate to get that done. That's just like in rounding that we do. We're leaders all, but yet we're still here to help the patient, and that's what it is. It's a group of us, but yet we still do what we have to do, as in having patient-centered care and taking care of that patient. Because it's my patient, but I'm still having to give them the information. I'm still having to be in charge of that patient no matter what everybody else says. That's what it's about.
Sometimes, it's difficult when have a leadership role, and it's very difficult to please
Right.
everybody.
You can't please
So-
everybody, and you won't.
Exactly.
But the person that you
mhm.
have to please is your
It's the
patient.
patient. At the end of the day, it's all about the patient.
It's all about the patient at the end of the day.
And there's times that sometimes a nurse or a PCA or somebody might not really like the way that you're delegating or saying things, but it's important to understand. I mean, like, what would you do if you find yourself in like a difficult situation like that, and somebody's really, like, would you bring them to the side? Would you talk to them in front of everybody? Like, would you talk to
No,
them in
I
front
would
of the
never.
patient?
I would never. If I had a PCA, which I've had many times,
Mhm.
who just didn't, as I delegated, they felt that they couldn't do what I wanted. I didn't say anything to them in front of the patient, and I didn't take it to my manager. I talked to that person one-to-one to find out, well, what is it that you don't feel comfortable about? And maybe I could help them. Maybe it's their religion and they don't want to draw the blood. Okay, then let me know. Let's talk, because then I can do it. But there has to be open communication. And so we can figure out what to do, and we can come on to one accord and say, you know what, this is the best for the patient. You may not want to like me, but it's okay. We need to get through this shift so we can take care of our patient.
So you listen.
Listen.
Then you go to the patient. You go
Right.
to the source.
Go to the
'Cause
source.
You can't assume what the doctor said and what they
Right. No.
You have to go to the source.
Go to the
That's very
source.
important too.
Right.
Very important.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Audrey.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it, and hopefully, this was good, and because I definitely felt like I definitely learned a lot from Audrey, and really, about leadership and how to be a servant leader. Thank you.
Bye.